Sounds good. So in my large introductory biology class, students really struggle to apply basic definitions and concepts to new scenarios. They kind of memorize terms, but don't really know how to use them, and it appears whenever I ask them to predict something or solve a problem. Okay. And then through decoding, I really realized it's not just this content issue. It's really anchored in their approach to learning, that they really lack these strategies to visualize, connect, and pick apart definitions. And many are used to studying just with flashcards, just a rapid fire, like connect words together, and don't see the larger picture of how it fits together. All right, next. So through my decoding interview, I really broke down how I, as an expert, approached learning a new concept. And so really, I go and check with each new definition that I get for a new word. I really analyze the hidden words within it. Do I understand what those words mean? And the context within biology. Okay. And so I'm constantly also with the new word and concept, trying to place it sort of in my other biology knowledge. So it goes over here with membrane transport things, and this is another strategy. And so I'm always trying to link and connect it and see where I'm filing it away to use it later. Okay. And then the process is very visual. So if we're talking about membrane transport and the text is saying like it's moving against the gradient, I have a picture in my mind of what that actually looks like. And so I'm actively really checking this definition. I'm sorting things through. I'm not passively learning it. Okay. And then as my final check, I'm always asking myself, could I explain this to somebody else? And so I'm always checking in to make sure that I really do know this concept. And so it's not just a quick flash connect things, it's this really deep understanding of the definition or concept. Okay. And so once I went through my decoding interview and started to identify what these critical steps were, I then started modeling this practice from the very beginning of my course. So day one, first learning objective. Now I teach this course from a weekly learning objective framework. So each chapter and assessment, they have a rationale and context for like what I need to know and why and where I'm going with that. And so that's one way that I lift some of the previous knowledge problem. And then from that first objective, I then am modeling what are they supposed to be doing pre-class and during class and after class? How do they use the course material to make sure that they understand this very first objective? Next. And then I'm also, as I'm going through this, visually showing them, I'm modeling, I'm drawing out, I'm doing these visualization and active learning strategies in front of them. So I'm teaching them, here's a new concept, here's a strategy I use to kind of check that there's this full understanding. Now, this also takes a lot of time and it's gonna it gave me some panic as I was moving a lot slower through those first couple chapters that we were going through. But what I found was I made it up towards the end of the class. I didn't lose, I had to cut a little bit. It was probably a day's worth of content I ended up cutting. But I didn't lose that much. I didn't lose a significant chapter. I didn't lose anything truly meaningful. And they were I made it up because I didn't have to reteach the things that I was teaching the first semester and keep on reteaching the stuff that I had hoped that they understood to get our later, more complicated mechanisms understood. Okay. And so really, I saw this wonderful shift in better engagement in the classes. They had deep and thoughtful questions. It wasn't just like, is this going to be on the exam? And they were really thoughtful questions, and they were trying to see learning as a process instead of just this end result. They had they attended more office hours. They just seemed happier in the classroom. Um, they felt supported, felt part of a team. They thought I was part of their team. By approaching it this way, I wasn't judging them. It's just this, you don't know the steps yet, and I'm going to teach you the steps. And so it was this great shift in the environment. Um, and then you can do my last little thing. I will give you a warning as you start unpacking your bottleneck. It doesn't solve everything. You'll find more bottlenecks, and you'll also see them everywhere you go. Every class you teach, you start to see the bottlenecks. In my conversations with my kids and my husbands, I see bottlenecks that are appearing, but it's also nice to lean. I now have a framework to lean on when I encounter those.